see clearly, join them in the break class and understand, how they operate these things, so that you too can help them, in the hostel. We had a friend in secondary school. He wasn't deaf, but he was only dumb. He hears everything, but he couldn't speak. But he was our friend, and he writes beautifully, and we graduated together. So we learned how to talk with him, and we now how to understand how he communicates with us. So we started learning sign languages. He taught us a lot. I still know a lot of the sign languages he taught me in secondary school. So most people don't even understand that there are people that are deaf but not dumb. They can't hear, but when you do sign language, they can talk. They can tell you what you're doing. There are some people that are dumb but are not deaf. They hear you, but they cannot talk. Then you have people that are both deaf and dumb, which is worse than, either of the two previous cases. But we learn together. There's a way. We had teachers who taught us sign languages that we lead in the hostel. Just normal, and we laugh a lot, because we know how to gesticulate a lot. They taught us a lot of things, So it brings this kind of bonding. It makes you understand that, look, these people are just like you. They've only been disadvantaged, by certain conditions. I know there's an all-inclusive secondary school in Port Harcourt, somewhere in Irebe. I've been to their graduation ceremony, I think about 3 occasions, and I find it exciting. In fact, you won't even know that some people are blind because their eyes are wide open, but they can't see. And they relate with their colleagues. Their colleagues understand them. They know how to relate with each other. They stay in the hostel.
All right. Well, moving from that to another day that also happened this week. The chairman of the River State Physically Challenged Cluster, Job Walter Peter, is urging the River State government and the House of Assembly to establish a commission dedicated to overseeing the affairs of persons with disabilities. Mr. Job Walter made this appeal during an interview with our correspondent to mark the International Wheelchair Day.
We want to appeal to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of River State, himself and the House of Assembly members to please enact a law in River State that will establish a commission that will control the activities of the physically challenged here in River State. As a case study of Anambra State, it has also been implemented in Lagos, Kaduna, etc. They should please come to our aid and implement such law too in River State, so that our people living all over the rural areas in the world will benefit in this government.
International Wheelchair Day is observed annually on the 1st of March. This day serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by wheelchair users and the importance of creating a barrier-free environment that enables them to social inclusion and equal opportunities for people with disabilities. I believe this is also connected to the first conversation.
Yes. I think I support them when it says let's establish a commission, something that clearly, gives them the opportunity. You understand? Something that operates in such a manner that wherever there are vacancies, they're able to pursue it, to a final line. They have a voice. The commission will ensure that they have a voice. The commission will ensure that, look, they're able to interface with all ministries, departments, and agencies in terms of opportunities, in terms of employment, in terms of whatever that will make them feel better, than what they are. They've only been, or they're only physically challenged, not because they are mentally challenged. They are not deranged. They are not mad people. They are normal people only because they have, a certain kind of condition that has made them to be physically challenged. So I support them when they are making an argument, for creating a commission, that will take care of their responsibilities and that makes them feel better, feel belonged, to the society, and they're able to contribute meaningfully to the growth and development of River State. They are not asking for handouts. They are not begging for money. They are not saying, look, pay us a certain amount every month. No, give us the opportunity to work. We may be challenged, but we can still contribute to the economic growth, of the state.
We have a break coming up. Excuse me. We have a break coming up shortly. I want to share a dissenting perspective to what you've said. Now, while it is important, to be all-inclusive and all of that, I think that one of our biggest problems is implementation. There are so many commissions, acts of legislation, units, things that have been set up for what we'll call the minority or disadvantaged in society. Even a piece of legislation that states that there is a quota for employment, and we have not seen implementation. So if we're setting up new commissions, setting up new departments, agencies, to cater to, how do we make sure that there's implementation of these new units? Because if we have implemented the former, we might not be in this position having this conversation.
Now, if there's a commission, who will you employ into the commission? If you have a commission for physically challenged people, let's assume that the commission will employ 50 people. Okay. All of the 50 people will be physically challenged. A step has been taken forward by employing 50 people. You may even be shocked that there might not be up to 50 people that are employed probably in the civil service for physically challenged people. When you create a commission for them, you automatically create employment for them. So, and I'm saying, if you have a commission for physically challenged people and they employ 50 people, you've taken one step forward. According to the Chinese proverb, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step.
Is it better?
When you create a commission, you've already taken one step forward. All of them will be physically challenged in that ministry. You'll be able to provide facilities that will aid their movement, within that, facility. Now, you are now raising consciousness. So it means that you could even ensure that whoever that heads that commission has a cabinet position in the State Executive Council. So that when the State Executive Council is having a meeting, then you are sure that somebody from there will be on that meeting.
We have to take a break. After that, I definitely have more questions for Mr. Ige, and you get to be a part of the conversation. Please stay with us.
Still the talk station of the nation.
Welcome back. It's still the front page on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. I still have Mr. Olalekan Ige right here with me. Hello, Mr. Ige.
Yeah, thanks for having me once again.
So again, I'm concerned. Haven't you been installed? Don't you have a chieftaincy title from any community? Because it's Mr. You know.
It's good. It's good. If you don't want to call me Mr., you can call me Ogbeni.
Wow.
Ogbeni Olalekan Ige.
I'll stick with Mr. That works. That works.
Ogbeni is actually Mr. in Yoruba.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay.
Ogbeni means Mr. in Yoruba.
Okay.
Ogbeni, yes.
Well, Mr. seems easier to pronounce.
Okay.
All right. So we're talking about the International Wheelchair Day, and Mr. Ige was making a case for a commission. Now, my question was, is it better to have a commission where everybody employed is a member of the community, or have a mainstream employment where it is so inclusive that we're not thinking of, persons with disability or persons on wheelchair, just an employment that allows for as many qualified people, to have a position? Which is better?
Before you have corn, it was planted.
Okay.
Before you eat yam, it was planted.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we have many more people, many more physically challenged people being employed, let us plant the seed. The seed to plant, have a commission for them. When you have a commission for them, everybody that will be in the employment of that commission will be a member of the community.
Okay.
And I also went further by advocating that whoever that is the chairman of that commission should have a cabinet status, meaning he should be a member of the state executive council, so that when decisions are being made, so that when discussions are being held, when policies are being made, when programs are being rolled out, at every point in time, you are reminding your colleagues who are members of cabinet by saying, look, we have people from my community. The governor has asked that you employ or you award this contract to so construction company. Fine, we are okay by it. We have members of our community who can work during the duration of this contract. Remember, not all physically challenged people will be on wheelchair. There will be others who can work, in such, construction companies. Yeah. Are you going to be talking in terms of employment? You're able to tell your colleagues, I'm a member of the cabinet too. From about 1,000 people you are going to employ, please, you have to have a reservation for us for 50, for 100. We have capable people who have some of the best degrees, some as far as being professors, some as doctors, some with doctorate degrees and all of that, with various, employment capabilities. Some have special skills that are even rarely found, in what we do, in Rivers State. So the best way to start for them is to plant the seed, then let it germinate. When it germinates, then we'll be able to know what is going on. One step, like I said, is what starts 1,000 miles when you are walking.
All right, it's time for you to be a part of the conversation. The next story is coming up. Abia residents celebrate days of uninterrupted power supply. This one. This one.
I already know that Port Harcourt is not for me. Port Harcourt is not for me.
We'll talk about that shortly. The NLC suspending its protest, and of course the federal government placing a $10 billion fine on Binance. But call us and tell us your thoughts on what we've discussed so far. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. I believe we're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria InfoPH. You can drop your comments on those platforms. Please turn up your radio as you call us. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sam.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning, Ogbemi Olalekan.
Okay.
Concerning all the questions Mr. Sam, I go out a lot in River.
Okay.
I talk about the River State government. I think that was from the previous administration. With all the beautiful constructions that the previous government did, they did not consider physically challenged persons on these bridges and roads. That includes crossing the road. That include using the congestion line or the congestion line, and so many other things as well. Even the parks, public shopping malls, and all that, these persons are not considered as. In fact, I think they purposely construct these facilities, and perhaps it's not right. If you are physically challenged, don't even come out to use our property. It's like that is the way. We will not spell it out, but it is obvious that is what they have said, why they are constructing these beautiful structures. I think that is what they have said. Because as a physically challenged person, maybe on your wheelchair or on your crutches, there is no way you can use government, River State government, facilities. It is out there, it is glaring to the eyes of the people. The parks, the roads, the bridges, they are all there. And I think it is wrong. I think it's that they are wicked to them, or they don't consider it at all. And they should fix it. And you have agencies that are coming up to talk about things like this, and they have never mentioned it. And the government just throw it and we see them every day. Something to use public facilities. Even the public buses and the public are on the road. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Clement. Well, that's an interesting observation. Now, I know that speaking with experts in the built environment, they say that there is a requirement for ramps on public buildings. You have to, put in facilities that make it easier for persons with certain challenges to navigate their way through the building.
True.
And, I mean, with the right education, more people are on board. I know there are lots of buildings in River State and indeed Port Harcourt that have ramps, but many others are yet to, install those. So I'm guessing with, orientation, publicity, people can get to reconstruct their structures to ensure that it helps for inclusivity.
Yeah, true.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Chid.
Good morning. What's your name?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. What's your name?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Please
Hello?
go ahead. Yes, we can hear you clearly. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, you have to call back. Thank you very much. Good morning. Oh, my. Okay, let's take comments on WhatsApp, and we'll get back to the phone line shortly. Good morning, Mr. Sam and Uncle Ovunda Ige.
Thank you.
On discrimination, I think education and enlightenment is the silver bullet. Criminalizing it and punishing people who don't know why they should not discriminate and wouldn't solve the problem. These people who discriminate have a perception in them. Some people say people born with sickle cell were born so because their parents had premarital sex. Wow. Do you think such religious people care about the punishment for discriminating people with sickle cell anemia? Are you aware some women and some men discriminate women who underwent cesarean section during childbirth? They say such women are not supposed to be women because they could not push out their baby naturally because they didn't have the strength. Yesterday, I spent almost the entire break period educating my students who expressed such views when the issue of C-section came up. If at that age some have such perceptions, what do you think their mindset will be at adulthood? Thank you very much, Tex. Always with the interesting comments. So it goes back to training and programming. What are people told and how are they raised at the family level?
Yeah, earlier I talked about perception. I talked about background. I talked about folklores. I talked about religion. And of course, I talked about orientation of people. And from the message there, it's talking about C-section. We've had a situation like that before. And you're wondering why the husband wouldn't want the wife to go through a C-section. It took all of the pleadings of the hospital to let the man understand that, look, this is normal. It will help save the life of your wife and your unborn child. It took all manner of pleadings. The man kept saying his mother told him that in their family, they deliver like Hebrew women.
Oh my goodness.
Chinedu, when you listen to what well-informed people say, then you wonder whether there's actually any need for exposure, whether there's any need for education. You understand? So you now begin to understand why I said it will take time, because we have different backgrounds. We're talking about discrimination against physically challenged people, discrimination against people with sickle cell. You understand? You've not even talked about discrimination against full-bodied people just because they are from one section of the country. You've not talked about discrimination against women because they are from certain part of Nigeria.
Yeah.
The orientation of many people is that, look, women from this part never do well in marriages. What gives you that kind of perception?
The stereotype.
And without even meeting with anybody from that side, you had already formed an opinion that, look, you won't even bother to go to this area. So discrimination is something that is inherent in us. It can't go away.
All right.
And that's the truth.
Let's take some more of those calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Chinedu.
Good morning. What's your name?
Yes, I can. Calling from Ubumini.
All right, please go ahead.
I want to contribute and add something on this disabled community.
All right.
I don't know if you know St. Aquinas Secondary School at LA. Directly opposite that school, there was a structure, seems to be an estate, that was built by the military government for the disabled community, where they practice and learn some certain works that made some of them, as at that time, to be tailors in training their children, which many of their children was my or our classmates in the school years. These disabled men and women, if you see them, you cannot. In fact, they are even competitive with those whom we feel that are physically fit. They live well. Part of their work, because it seems they are going there as a ministry work.
Okay.
So, in my own opinion, I think this government of now, they should establish such a company or such a opportunity for the people to see themselves as whatever a man can do, woman can do it better.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand where I'm going.
I definitely do.
So that at least everybody will know that there is nothing a human being or some human beings cannot do.
All right. Thank you very much. Over to WhatsApp. This comment reads, Nigeria government does not have plan for complete humans, not to talk. No, I don't agree with that. While it is a funny comment and I know where you're coming from, please, the government definitely has the right plans. So check all their plans, roads, infrastructure, programs, etc. That's from Isaiah. Ezekiel, the government does have a plan. Well, let's go from there to a government that has implemented a plan that has worked in favor of its people. Residents of Aba, are celebrating hours. As at the time of this report, it was 48 hours of uninterrupted power supply following the installation of the geometric power plant. Since 1 out of 4 turbines at the plant was switched on Sunday, February 25, 2024, some sections of Aba have been enjoying uninterrupted power supply. Residents of Aba took to social media to share the good news. One of them said, Aba residents now enjoy 24/7 electricity. Aba is currently the most thriving city for living and investing in Nigeria. This is according to a Twitter user. In another video, a lady can be heard saying in both Igbo and English, light choke about to the world. How many days now? See as AC. Everywhere, just they chill. President Bola Tinubu on Monday launched the geometric power plant in Aba 20 years after the project was initiated by a former Minister of Power, Bath Naji. While there is reason for Abians to celebrate, there have been criticism, as there always is, on social media stating that the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, should not take credit because this was not his initiative. Your take, Mr. Ige.
Well, before responding to that, let me tell you that I'm part of the people that are looking towards Abia State now. The way it is like this now, Port Harcourt is not for me. Let me inform you that Port Harcourt is not for me. I just got that Port Harcourt is not for me. So I'm already looking for where to stay in Osisioma.
No.
Chinedu, because
soon now you might just... you're not going anywhere.
Chinedu, soon now you might just be calling me from Aba, and I'll tell you that no, I'm at home. I'm enjoying my AC. I'm sure you know the heat of the last couple of months. I've not been funny. So you can imagine shifting your base to Osisioma or Ukwa East or West, and you have a steady power supply. You mount your AC and begin to enjoy life. Look for land and begin farming. It's a new phase of life, really. I envy the people of Aba, I must say. For those saying Alex Oti should not take credit. Well, I agree with them. Alex Oti should not take credit, for this project. But should Alex Oti share in the credit? I agree that Alex Oti should share in the credit. So if you don't give him the credit, allow him to share from the credit. Remember that Abia State government is one of the shareholders of Geometric Power. Abia State government has shares in Geometric Power, and one of the reasons why Alex Oti too may be taking credit or sharing in the credit is that he may have ensured that the amount of money due Geometric Power from Abia State government, Alex Oti may have also facilitated, to ensure that Abia State government pays their own contribution into it. That's on one part. On the other part is also to get the federal government of Nigeria, you understand, grace that occasion to ensure that they come to commission the project. I'm sure there are other facilities that the government of Abia State will also be providing that Geometric may not be able to provide completely. I'm talking in terms of transformers, in terms of provision of meters and all of other accessories and and all that. So he might not take the credit, but he can share in the credit, and it's happened in his own time. It started 20 years ago. There had been battle over how Geometric Power will control, power situation in Abia. Remember that the federal government of Nigeria actually caused the problem, or should I say, it's the Bureau of Public Enterprises that caused this problem. When they sold off power assets, they sold the eastern region to Enugu Electricity, distribution company, and that is owned by a prominent Nigerian. And they did say in that contract that look, Abia was actually out of the eastern zone for the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company. So that caused a lot of friction, between Geometric Power and the owner of Enugu Electricity Distribution Company. It was eventually resolved, under Buhari's administration, when they were able to separate Abia State completely out of Enugu Electricity Distribution Company. So it's been long in coming, but it's finally here. Is to say kudos to all of those that have made this happen, and to say this is one huge step, for the people of Abia State, especially for Aba. This is a huge step for Aba. If the electricity can remain constant for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then you see what are the potentials of Abia people.
Production.
They are very industrious. For us who make clothes, most times we just call tailors we've never met, but because we have contacts through another source, tailors you've never met, you give them your measurement, on phone, and 3 days later your clothes is in Port Harcourt.
They deliver.
I'm only hoping and praying that they can just fix Port Harcourt to Aba Expressway. Port Harcourt to Aba is barely 30 minutes if the road is good. It's not that far. So it means that if we can fix the road, a sizable number of people can actually shift their base, across Imo River, which is after Obigbo. You can now be staying in Ukwa East or Ukwa West, especially from Owaza down to Obe, down to Aloji. We can have people, shift their base, they buy land, build house, and in 20-25 minutes, they're already at oil mill every morning. I think that's what development is all about. This is going to be exponential, in terms of development. Aba has, access to major cities, both in the south and in the southeast. Aba has access to Owerri, has access to Imo State, to Enugu. Then on the other side from Ogbo Hill, you're already heading to Akwa Ibom. And from this side, you're already heading to Rivers State. So Aba is in a very areas.
All right. And another concern, while we're celebrating this, the Nigerian culture of not wanting to pay your dues. Will Abians pay their power bill?
They will pay. There's no doubt about it. If you don't pay, you already know that you're in trouble. You must pay. You want 24 hours electricity. It's not going to come for free. And I'm sure the people of Abia State will not want to pay. I don't think so. I don't think they will not want to pay for the bills they consume, because all the meters that will be supplied according to geometric will be prepaid. Of course, you will have people who will still be recalcitrant, people who want to bypass the meter, to have, it's left for geometric power to now employ people, because this now will not create employment. People will have to move around at least the 9 local governments.
A task force.
Yes, a task force. The 9 local governments for now. We have to move around this 9 local governments and ensure that all meters are reading, all meters are functioning, people are paying for what they consume. You understand? And I'm sure with time, people will now get to understand that, look, it's not as bad as people may want to think, to feel that, no, if I have 24 hours electricity, I'll be spending so much money. It makes you even more careful. When you don't need your freezer, you put it off. When you don't need your television, you turn it off, because the less appliances you use, of course, the less bills you pay. But if you want AC 24 hours,
like Mr. Ige,
if you want AC 24 hours, you must be ready to recharge, for all of the time that you have your appliances on. It's a good move, really, and I hope and pray that other parts of Nigeria can take a cue from it.
Okay, so if you live in Aba, of course, Nigeria Info is, thanks to the app and many other resources, you can get our frequency, you can listen to Nigeria Info. If you're there and you're a part of this, you have experienced the over 48 hours of uninterrupted power supply, please call us and let us know your reality. How large are you living? 08179230002, 08179230003. WhatsApp is 08090306416. Clef Austin Rodriguez says, Abia State enjoying steady power supply. Generator sellers will swear for Alex Oates. So it's possible to achieve this. Other states will not see this one to copy. Clef Austin says, there has been that narrative that, people who sell generators are the reason why we don't have constant power, because they are doing 1 or 2. But we're glad this is the case. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, the Oracle Chinedu.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning to Olalekan Ige.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, Okwando Kobile is my name.
All right.
You see, I am happy over the full functionality of the geometric power plant. I think that will help in distributing energy. Unlike what is happening here in River State, PHED is only distributing darkness.
Wow.
And nothing, and nobody is saying anything about it. But I want to tell you a fact that for the past 3 or 4 days, I have been in Aba. But the most celebrated 48 hours light in Aba, I even went on investigative journalism to see if there are some parts that have been getting light for the last 48 hours.
Okay.
But I was not able to see.
Okay.
I think the best thing is that there is light at the end of the tunnel, but the light has not really come. So going ahead to celebrate the light when it has not come, I think that is an overstatement or over-celebration. I want to let you know that even where I was staying here in Aba for the last 4 days, there was no 40. It was not even up to 5 hours light.
Okay.
So let the celebration continue, but let's first wait for the original celebration. I think what is happening is that they are putting all that things in order. So
Okay,
that,
so let me
hours light will come.
Let me get clearly. You're saying that the power supply in the parts of Aba you checked is not constant.
It is because there was no difference from what I used to experience in the past days when I go there.
So where did you check?
So I was even... Hello?
Yes. Where did you check?
I was staying around the place they call Port Harcourt Road. I also checked around the Omongasi area. I also checked around the Fox Road area. I don't think there was any place like that. I am still investigating because the uproar in Facebook and other social media that Aba is enjoying 48 hours light. I was surprised. So that is why I still want to investigate more.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, he has given us updates from those locations.
True. Maybe we can only hope that we have other people coming from other parts of Aba, all the parts leading to Obingwa, the parts leading to Isialangwa North, the Ogbo Hill axis, Brass Road, the Abaweri Road axis, Aloji. Aloji is not too far from Port Harcourt Road. If you can get into Central Aba, Azikiwe Road, the main park in Aba, all those axes. If you can get people to call in from there, I think we might be able to have a fair representation of what is happening in Aba.
All right. This is from Carl. He says electricity might be available. However, some of the residents should know there were already pre-existing infrastructural problems that may still remain until taken care of. We're hoping that it encompasses the entirety of Abia State so that it's a case study for other states.
True.
Now that it is possible, you would want to.
I agree with the comment of this person, and says, look, we have pre-existing problems. Of course, you still have the problem of transmission. You have a problem of transformers. You have a problem of obsolete equipment that may not be able to carry the volume of power that may be passing through the lines and all of that. I'm sure there will be teething problems. The most important thing is that generation is happening. One of the turbines is on, so it means there is generation. So it means the next thing to tackle now is distribution, and then finally to the various homes in Aba. So it will be one step after the other, and it will be exciting, for people like us who are frequent visitors to Aba. It will be exciting. I used to think Aba was among the dirtiest cities, in Nigeria. This could put a different perspective on Aba.
Morning, Sam and Mr. Leko. 1991, when I was managing our branch office in Aba, Osusioma, I lived in Port Harcourt, drove down every day, came back for lunch and returned to the office.
True.
River State and Abia State should restore the roads, Eregoba says. Thank you very much. All right, we have limited time. The NLC suspends protest. The NLC has suspended its nationwide rally, its 2-day rally, which was in protest of rising cost of living, started on Tuesday across the country and was to continue. But in a communique at the end of its national executive meeting on Tuesday, the NLC said the objectives of the protest were achieved on the first day of the demonstration. The communique further said nationwide action continues with simultaneous press conferences across all states of the Federation. In River State, the chairman of the NLC, Alex Ogwanwo, led the protest, calling the president to review some of the economic policies. We'll hear from him shortly, but the labor unions have reasons to be dissatisfied with the president. They've made some statements that it's about. All right, after the break, we'll talk. Please stay with us.
Are you into business and sales or offer some sort of service? Looking to connect with the public and potential clients? Then visit the sales and marketing team at our head office, AIM Complex, Kilometer 16, East West Road, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Call us on 0817 001 8162.
For the break, we talked about NLC suspending the strike. The protest. Chairman of the NLC, Alex Ogwanwo, that's in River State, called on the president to review some of his economic policies. Mr. Ogwanwo handed over the demands to the union to the River State government at the government house in Port Harcourt. He said they are worried the federal government has continued to renege on agreements reached with the union.
Every policy that this government have made, every policy have negatively impacted on us. For the removal of the fuel subsidy, to the Naira policy, to the dollar devaluation, everything, nothing has favored Nigeria. And it has dipped Nigeria down into more poverty. They said that we need to be poor so they can keep remain in power. But we will not allow that to happen. As NLC, we have said that we will not keep quiet. That will remain the only common voice that is standing in this country. No matter what anybody may say, today in Nigeria, almost everybody has been silent. But as NLC, we continue to speak for our members, we continue to speak for the masses.
I told the President Bola Tinubu, that members of the union are not interested in any political position, including his office. Mr. Ige, very quickly, your take on the matter on ground.
Well, I think NLC has stated its position. Remember, this time around, not joined by their other labor center, the Trade Union Congress. They made their position known. They've said they've achieved what they wanted to achieve on the first day, hence the reason for calling off the 2-day, protest or warning strike or whatever it is, And I think there's more to it that the Labour should do. Even though Labour's major priority is to fight for its members, they are not the measurement scale for the rest of Nigerians, even though you would say they have dependents that are Nigerians, So their main aim is to fight for their members. I think they can do more. They can engage the federal government more. They can find ways and means of ensuring that they're able to bring to account a lot of what happens, within the federal government space. And, most times you concentrate so much attention on the federal government and, you now leave governors happier and say, look, at least they are not talking about us this time around. But I think it should be across all levels. Okay. Across all the 3 tiers of government, the local, state, and federal governments of Nigeria. So we should not just be talking about the federal government even this time. And that's why I'm saying Labour should do beyond that. They should go beyond that. While you are tackling the federal government, yes, I agree with you. What about the states? The kind of energy you place, on the federal government, do you place same on local and state governments? Do you ensure, they also feel this heat, each time, you go on this massive protest? There are still a lot of states out there that have not been able to pay even the minimum wage of the last time. Now you are trying to negotiate for fresh minimum wage. How is this going to happen? These are engagements you should have, not just with the federal government. These are engagements you should ensure that you have with the one that is closest to the people, the local government, then the next one that is closest to the people, the state government. You need to engage constructively. You need to be able to put things on the table and ensure that, look, you force them to implement most of the things they are meant to do, even at the federal level.
Well, I was hoping we'll do better justice to this, but I must bring it up because you and I spoke about it earlier. The federal government has intensified its crackdown on Binance by imposing a hefty fine of $10 billion on the crypto exchange platform. There's a lot here to unpack.
There's a lot.
Unfortunately, in just a sentence or very few words, what do you make of this?
Is Binance Nigeria's problem? The answer is absolutely no.
Is Binance a channel to contribute to Nigeria's problem?
The answer is yes. When you talk in terms of terrorism, when you talk in terms of money laundering, I agree. But is it Nigeria's economic problem? The answer is no.
Well,
we need to be the federal government is saying, look, Binance has been using its platform, to manipulate, dollar against naira, naira against dollar. As far as I'm concerned, that's by the way. Are we productive enough? You are chasing after Binance. What of the volume of dollars with politicians in Nigeria? Have you asked them to return it? I'm sure Chinedu, it may not be completely true, but I can tell you that the amount of dollars in the hands of politicians in Nigeria may actually be up to Nigeria's foreign reserve.
Okay, we're out of time.
Is Binance our problem?
You know how a state government says it has been noticed that Okada or Keke is the most popular tool for crime and criminality.
Yes.
So what do? They ban Keke.
Yes.
Now, is Keke the government's problem?
No.
But it is a channel.
No, if you say, look, Keke are involved in, or Keke drivers are involved in crime, that's a wholesale blanket. That's not how to handle crime. You identify crime by first of all establishing motive. Won't you establish the motive? If we have 1,000 Keke drivers in Rivers State, are all of them criminals? The answer is no. What measures have you put in place to identify those that are into crime? Keke drivers are not the problem. Okay. It is the inability of security agencies to isolate those who commit the crime and ensure they get punished. If the government is talking about Keke drivers, have you even talked about the judicial system where you are in court for 10 years for just a matter?
We have to go now. Keke drivers, I use that as an example. You are not criminals, please. Binance is the focus.
Because they are our customers.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. Thank you for making the time.
You're most welcome.
Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
Yes.
That's it on this episode of The Front Page. Join us next Saturday at 8 a.m. to catch the updates. Please stay with us.